Hello and welcome to the final part of my Allegro C++ game making tutorial. And as I said, this is the final part, so we're going to be finishing the game off. If you already followed the code last tutorial, the last part, you'll realize that now we haven't added very much. We've actually added very little. We've just added a couple of variables, and a bit to this giant string of if statements. And then one draw sprite and a generator for movement. So here's what we did. We created A, B, and Z as new integer variables, and A and B are equivalent to X and Y, except A and B are just the coordinates for the alien. They also have to be multiples of 3, so they're 720, but I didn't want them to be too close to each other. Z is simply a 1 or 0 number generator to generate random movement for the alien. This is good because it makes the alien look like it's moving more naturally. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, here's exactly what I mean. The game is being a little bit laggy, because, I'm running my recorder, so it's making it really slow, and this is my slower computer. But, it moves around, and the alien can move diagonally because of this generator. As you can see, it kind of vibrates a little bit, because every time in the loop, almost every time it's changing. And what I did was, because I found out that before it would slow down when I got to the same X. This was because it says, all right, I'm going to do the X. But I'm already at the same X, so I'm not going to add anything. That's why I was able to get way ahead. I changed this by saying that if they're the same, always go to the other dimension of movement, pretty much. It's kind of hard to understand. It's really hard to explain. But also, yeah, when he hits me, I'm dead. Also, the X works too if you just want to quit. And as you probably have noticed, I changed the size of the screen because I wasn't able to shorten the size of the images, so I just increased the size of the screen. And I didn't realize, but I actually put this over 720. That's weird. Well, anyway, I'm just going to set that to 690, or A or B. A is equivalent to X, and X is length. So yeah, 690. Alright, anyway, so yeah, that's what I did. I added quite a lot of if statements, though. I added about maybe 7 more. And right here, this is what I added that I told you about in the game that I said was really hard to explain, but here it is. If A is equal to X, meaning if the lengths are the same of the two images, then make sure that you only add to the Y, right? Because what if it's going to add to the X? But they're the same. So these if statements will just be canceled out because they're the same. So it won't add, it will just stand there. And that actually helped me get way ahead, and I won. I pretty much beat the game. I'll show you. Alright, I'm going to take these out. I'm going to copy them. And then I'm going to erase them. Now when I save it, compile it, and run it, here's what happens. The alien should be coming right now. There he is. Watch this. I could make him stop a little bit. And as you can see, I'm getting way ahead. It's kind of hard to see, but look. he's stopping a little bit, and I'm getting way ahead. And I pretty much survive. But it still works when he gets me. See, I'm dead. And that's what happens. So, you don't want that. I really didn't like it because it was getting really annoying. I was winning all the time. Feel free to make any, when you get this code, feel free to make any changes because it's like, even though it's finished, it's still kind of in a beta form. Not that it's a very complex game, but it's still not finished. Well, it is finished, but, Anyway, so after this, we say that if A equals X and B equals Y, meaning that they're pretty much at the same position, then dead equals 0, which kills the program. Alright, now this is test. Now these 4 if statements are basically this. Let me show you. I'm just going to actually make a space so it looks better. I'm going to make it like this. I'm going to take these out. I'm going to say // which is, if you don't know, that leaves a comment for the whole line. Say // brain for alien. Just so you know. It says brain for alien because all of this is going to be just the brain for alien. This is the brain. When brains get bigger, you kind of want to put them in their own function because there's animation and there's a lot of things you need to deal with. So it just gets messy. But right now, we'll keep it like this. Alright, so these 4, it says if A is bigger than X, then and Z equals to 0, meaning that the random generator came out with 0, which pretty much allows it to move in one dimension or another. If A is smaller than X and Z is 0, meaning it's allowed to use the X dimension, then do A equals A plus 3, so it gets a little bit closer to the X. If the same thing, except if A is bigger and you subtract from A. Same thing with B, absolutely same thing, except it's 1 for B, and if it's bigger or smaller, and it's plus and minus. It's as simple as that. The rand, if you don't know this function, you do Z equals rand, and then brackets, open and close normal brackets. I don't know what you're supposed to put inside there. I really don't know. And then you do, unless you don't know this operator, it's called modulus, right? It's the modulus operator. Basically what it does is it divides by 2, and then the answer isn't the division. It's actually the remainder that you get from the division. So say the rand is 11. It would be 1 because that's the remainder. The remainder is 1. 11 divided by 11 modulus 2 is equal to 1. That's something to remember. That's basically how you would be able to lower a rand. So you could say, and you always want to put it, because it can't be remainder 2 because you're dividing by 2. So if you said rand 7, that could be like dice. You can make kind of a dice program or something. Alright, so after that, you've done everything. And then we draw the sprites. And after we draw before we draw the UFO, we have to draw the alien now. At A and B, at the coordinates of A and B, because A and B are the coordinate for the alien. And basically, after that, you're done and you end of main. I forgot to and return 0. I forgot to say this in Allegro. You never want to put semicolons after an end of main. I don't know why. They didn't tell. They don't say. I think you can see it in the manual, but I never look at the manual. As I said, I don't like it very much. Alright, goodbye.